Proud to host the official opening ceremony for you on the soils of the Gambia, the Smiling Coast. We're so happy and proud to host the 32nd edition of the Intermodal Africa Conference. And I'm here with Bintu KV Jane. Bintu?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Bintu KV Jane, the Communications Assistant of Gambia Ports Authority, and I am the co-host for today's event. Thank you.
All right, Bintu, we can now run through the program guide a little bit for the official opening ceremony, and also take you through the activity plan for the 27th, that is today, and that of the 28th tomorrow. So we would have an official welcoming remark by the Managing Director of Gambia Ports Authority, because we are hosting, of course. So we would, of course, obviously want the MD, Usman Jabate, to do the welcoming remark. This will be followed by a remark made by the organizers, which is going to be done by Dr. James, who is the Managing Director of Transport Events. This will be followed by a keynote address by the Ambassador Honorable Serin Modunjai, who is sitting in for the Minister of Works. Of course, this will be followed by a grand opening address by the Vice President, His Excellency Mr. Mohamed B.S. Jallo. And from there, we would go to the exhibition ceremony and tour of exhibition by VIP. That will be followed by delegates to tour all the stores and stands which are allocated in this year's 32nd edition. So Bintu, you would want to also acknowledge a few of our guests?
Yes, we would also like to acknowledge the presence of Her Excellency, the British High Commissioner, His Excellency, the Ambassador from the Republic of Turkey, His Excellency, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, His Excellency, High Commissioner of Senegal, the Deputy Managing Director of Albarak, Mr. Salih Redant, the Deputy Managing Director, Lamin Sanyang of National Food Security Corporation, also the former Managing Director of Gambia Ports Authority. We also would like to acknowledge the presence of the World Bank representatives, Mr. Yoro Jallo, and also the Commissioner General of Gambia Revenue Authority, Mr. Yankuba Dabo, the General Manager of Gambia Ferry Services, Mr. Abdullahi Tambedu. All dignitaries respectfully observed. Thank you and welcome.
Welcome. I did not only hear my name mentioned. Bintu, am I not an ambassador enough? Thank you very much. So at this point, we would want to invite the Managing Director of Gambia
Transport Events, Excellencies, Ambassadors here present, the Commissioner General, Gambia Revenue Authority, members of the public institutions, private corporations, and all other dignitaries here present. It is my honor to welcome you today to the 32nd edition of the Intermodal Africa International Conference and Exhibition in the Smiling Coast of the Gambia. I would have said that the protocol has also taken me off guard because I was not prepared to make any speech, but at least you've shown a 1-minute video which has carried the message that I needed to tell you. But on a lighter note, the story about ports, I think it doesn't need to be explained to anybody, because the importance of ports in the socio-economic activities of any country cannot be overemphasized. Ports are catalysts in socio-economic development because the amount of activity that goes in countries in international trade, almost 80% of it all passes through ports. So the importance of ports being very efficient, being very productive, and to overall reduce the cost of doing business is the main issue why ports remain relevant in our countries, particularly in Africa. We're happy to be the host of this international event where the industry players will network and find solutions to our common problems. Because our population out there, all they yearn for is to improve their livelihoods. And the ports play a very important role in that. What is also peculiar about this event is that when the organizers chose Gambia, Mr. Doyle was a little bit hesitant that how can such a big event be organized in small Gambia. We told him, welcome. We pride ourselves in being the Smiling Coast, as Jibo has rightly mentioned, where business can be mixed with leisure. So I invite you all, apart from networking and finding solutions to our maritime issues, to also visit the Gambia more often, because we need your euros, your dollars to come and spend in our economy to help us grow. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Usman Jabate, the Managing Director of Gambia Ports Authority, because we need those dollars and euros. A group of companies are also with us. When we say GPA nowadays, we would not forget the Albayrak group of company. It will be Alport Banjul come 2025. Sally and your team, we're glad to have you here as well. So visit us at the port, like the managing director said, and visit us as Gambia, visit the country. The pound, the dollars, the euro would stay, will give you hospitality. At this point, Bintu, I would also say we invite...
Yes, we would also like to acknowledge the presence of Lamin Jawara, the Register of Ships representing Gambia Maritime Administration. Without further ado, we would welcome Dr. Roy James Doll, the Managing Director and the organizer of this event. Please, Mr. Roy.
Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, the Honourable Serene Wujunji, who is the Minister of Defence, sitting in for the Honourable Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Mr. Osman Jobote, who is the Managing Director of Gambia Ports Authority, all permanent secretaries, dignitaries, heads of government institutions, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press and media, good morning and welcome. Welcome, as mentioned earlier by the MC, to the 32nd Intermodal Africa, here in the smiling coast of Africa, also known as the Gambia, here at the Kairaba Hotel in Banjul. I would like to take the opportunity to thank Gambia Ports Authority for hosting this event. Yesterday we had the port tour, and we had a great opportunity to see what's happening in the port and the remarkable transition opportunity and plans that are coming up with Al Bayrak and Sally. You're here today, and also we thanked Jam yesterday for his time in showing us the port. So there seems to be a great opportunity for efficiency, further investment, job creation, and of course revenue generation and tax commissioner as well. So that's all very good news. I'm very happy to say that we have 30 international conference speakers, we have 20 exhibitors, and a total of 170 delegates from 23 different countries. Looking ahead in 6 years' time, MD, we're looking forward to Intermodal Africa coming back for what should be the 38th Intermodal Africa, we hope, in 6 years' time, when you'll have your new beautiful Sanyang deep sea port up and running. Again, more revenue opportunity, more investment, and Commissioner, more tax. So I think that's good for the country. So on that happy note, I'm going to pass back, and thank you all very much indeed for being here. Please visit the exhibition. It's all about networking. Face-to-face communications is what we do best as human beings. So please all visit all the exhibition stands. If you tried to visit each company individually, it would probably take you about 3 months. But here you can do it in 2 days. So please do as much networking as you can, collect as many business cards as you can, and I'm sure your bosses are going to say, how many did you convert into contracts? So on that happy note, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much, and I hope you're welcome since you came. You got entertainment?
Very much.
I invite the Ambassador, Honorable Selim Modunjai, to make a statement. I just wanted to say that before I came here today, there is an incident I wanted to just give out to the crowd. So quickly, I grew up living with my stepmother at home. So this stepmother has always been mean to me in the absence of my father. But whenever I report it, because my father understands, he would always ask me to exercise patience and that this is his new wife. So we'll manage in the house. So whenever thieves broke into other apartments around the house, she would call my name and say, Mbabokulo. That means I hope you're not one of them. Because this lady thinks everything bad is associated to me. So one day, Honorable, Your Excellency, I was asked to go get a paste from one of these supermarkets. Then we used to have what is called a mini market sort of, where one entrance, one way of exit. So when I walk in, there was this lady behind me. When you look at her, she was very rich, by looks. So she just drove and parked a very nice car. And then she was also looking for something. But to my surprise, you can be rich, but you're not, see, you understand, you're not up there fully. So but this lady had been behind me. We've been walking. She was looking for something, I was looking for a paste. So I saw what I was looking for, and she saw hers. When we came to the counter, the cashier, to pay, She could not find her wallet. And then she turned and looked at me and said, "It's you, Anam." I said, "Anam, I don't understand." She said, "My wallet. You've been following me since we came in. Where is this wallet you took?" So before I could understand, these security men around the supermarket had grabbed me. You know, search everywhere. They took me to the washroom, they searched, they treated me naked, they searched everywhere. They said, "In fact, if you hide it in this supermarket, you're not coming back here. Give it to her." I said, "It's not here." This lady's husband called on the phone and said, "Hello, sweetheart, and then the lady just ran. I'll tell you the name of the lady later when I'm done with the story. She said, "Yeah, honey, can you imagine? Where are you? Meet me at the station, Serekunda. This boy stole my wallet." And then she hung off. And then they asked me to call my dad. I gave the number, they called my dad. The moment they called my stepmother, she received, "Hamon Nako. Hamon Nako, I knew it. This is the worst he could have done." So we all arrived at the police station together. And then the lady made her statement. Before I could do mine, you know, the police officers, you know, the Gambian police, like, if I say local. So before you know, I was thrown in jail. I was thrown in prison. So I was thrown right in. And then my father arrived and the lady's husband just walked in. All statements were made. But for the lady's husband, when she came in, she only looked at the wife and said, "What are you doing here?" And the wife said, "It's this boy." And then she started insulting. You know, I was still calm. And then the husband said, "I called to say you left your wallet at the dime before you left." Hey. So while I was inside, I heard it. I said, "Temune." So the lady, you could see it in her face, everything had dropped. Even the charges on her face had dropped. So I was taken out, and then later on she said, "We have to negotiate as family. But this I would not take down. I'm not negotiating. One, my character is already messed up with. Sorry to say, deformation has happened." And I said, deformation of character will be fixed first. We have to go back to the supermarket. You tell everyone it's not me and you made the mistake. So the next time when I come, they will give me access. And secondly, you have to compensate me with something for the deformation. She agreed on a $5,000 sick pay. You know 5,000 those days? So she started counting. You know, my father was smiling with me because we knew it was going to add value to my school. So we counted 4,005, 4,006. You could see the smile on my face. 4,007, 4,008. I was still smiling. 4,009. Guess what happened? Before we got to 5,000 was when Usman Jobake called me and said, "I have to come here." This was all happening in my dream. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to invite the Ambassador Honorable Seri Modinjai to officially do a keynote address.
See the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Mohammed B.S. Jallow, the Managing Director of the Gambia Ports Authority, the Chairman, Dr. Rory James, CEO, Transport Even, Excellencies, Ambassadors, and Heads of Diplomatic Corps, Excellencies, Director General, Gambia Revenue Authorities, eminent conference speakers and exhibitors, the Chairman and Board of Directors, Management of GPA, members of the press, esteemed members of the media fraternity, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols respectfully and duly observed. It gives me singular honor and privilege to be able to address you in this important 3 days event, which marks the hosting of the 32nd Intermodal Africa Exhibition and Conference, being held in our beloved country, the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa, a home away from your homes. On behalf of the Honorable Minister, Transport Works and Infrastructure, who is currently away on official mission, it is my distinct honor to extend warm greetings and thanks to each of you for making the time to participate in such an important interactive discussions and event. I now read the statement of the Honorable Minister. Being the Minister responsible for maritime affairs, I am convinced that the conference and exhibition will focus on issues of common concern to African ports as experts dilate on topical issues that will enhance sustainable operations and management of ports as they continue to serve as engines of economic growth. The discussions and recommendations that will ensue from these deliberations are even more relevant given the current realities in the world economy, such as shift in the trading patterns, development in e-commerce, mergers and acquisitions among global shipping lines, and private sector participation in the provision of port services, to name a few. Excellencies, distinguished participants, the importance of maritime transport and logistics service providers in global trade cannot be overemphasized, noting that 80% of all exchanges in world trade, both in terms of volume and value, are carried by sea. According to experts, world seaborne trade is expected to grow by 4% over the coming years. This situation gives a positive outlook where volumes across all segments are expected to grow, the fastest growth expected in the containerized and dry bulk commodities. Notwithstanding these prospects, certain game changers such as digitalization, the impact of the Belt and Road Initiative by People's Republic of China, and the increasing use of containerization need to be leveraged effectively in order to maximize gain in global seaborne trade. At a regional level, the construction of a 6-lane road network linking Lagos to Dakar, called the Trans-African Highway number 7, present an opportunity to complement maritime transport within West Africa, which has a population of more than 450 million and an annual trade volume in excess of $344 billion, according to the ECOWAS Trade Observatory 2024. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it may be prudent at this stage to call upon the experts to share experience and best practices to address common issues confronting African ports, with particular emphasis on dredging to attract deeper draft vessels, construction of ship reception facilities, and logistic platforms in order to enhance port productivity. This is important against the background that our ports are gateways to merchandise trade with strong growth potential, and the African continent is the second fastest growing region after Asia, according to the African Development Bank Macroeconomic Report 2024. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Works, Transport and Infrastructure has been reliably informed that this Intermodal Africa Conference and Exhibition will feature world-class conference speakers addressing topical issues in maritime transport and logistics. The exhibition will provide commercial opportunities for exhibitors and sponsors to network directly with delegates at this major annual event, International Maritime Transport event for Africa. During the course of the next few days, experts are expected to come up with sustainable solutions that will address ports productivity to the benefit of our citizens, contributes to employment creation, and poverty reduction. Your Excellency, kindly allow me to take this opportunity on behalf of the Ministry of Works, Transport and Infrastructure, the Board of Directors, Management and staff of the GPA, and our valued customers to express sincere gratitude and appreciation to the Transport Event Limited for the choice of the Gambia to host the 32nd Intermodal Africa. We also take great pleasure to express appreciation to each one of you for your active participation and valuable contribution to the event. In closing, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the conference and exhibition set against the stage of the Gambia's Smiling Coast will be a memorable event for those attending to network on issues within the maritime ecosystem and discover the lost tourism attraction that makes the Gambia a destination of choice for business and leisure. On this note, Your Excellency, I thank you all for your kind attention and wish you a successful event. Thank you.
Speech. It is known that 80% of the world's good is transported by sea, so the importance of maritime cannot be overemphasized. And the Gambia is really ready for it with the PPP, the emergence of the dry port, also the maritime school in the pipeline, the deep sea port in Sanyang that we keep talking about. The Gambia's blue economy is ready and on the way. Without further ado, I would like to go through the sessions we will be having today. Please allow me, we have 4 sessions for today. And session 1 is connecting the world with Western African ports, creating new routes, new services, and new relations, future port expansion projects. This will be moderated by Mr. Lamin Damfa, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Trade, Industry, and Regional Integration, the Republic of the Gambia. And the second session will be revisiting trade policies in Africa, amending and eliminating challenges for better investment and robust business relations that increase cargo volumes and faster freight movement. The third session would be around 3:30 p.m., matching the port investment and expansions project by addressing the changing role of the port and the region's business landscape. The last and final session for today would be capitalizing the port's future expansion plan and cementing Gambia's role as West African maritime gateway from the ocean to the hinterland.
Allocated for this year's 32nd Intermodal Africa Conference and Exhibition will be Albayrak Group of Companies. Of course, 2 stands are here for Albayrak. Thank you very much, Albayrak, for supporting. Delna is also here. Thank you. Gambia Ports Authority with 2 stands. Thank you very much, Honorable Mr. Usman Jabate, MD at the port. We have Heister, Lasting Solution. Max Line, of course, 2 stands. Magna Tires, Pro Develop. Is it Praisman? Praisman? All right. Ram Spreaders and Sibri. CMG Dry Port. SMG Dry Port, sorry. Sugesta, Solvo, and Yale Port. These are our stands here. So right after the His Excellency's key opening remark, we would take a walk to the stands. This will be led by the Vice President, His Excellency Mr. Mohammed, and then the delegates. Point Bintu, we would now invite His Excellency Mr. Mohammed B.S. Jallo to do us the honor of the official opening statement. Can we please rise?
The Honorable Minister of Defense, sitting here on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Your Excellencies, High Commissioners, Ambassadors, and members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps here present, the heads of public and private institutions here present, the CEO of Transport Events, and other distinguished delegates here present, distinguished invitees, the press, senior government officials, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of His Excellency the President Adama Barrow, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, it is my pleasure to welcome all distinguished participants and expert speakers to this significant event, that is the 32nd Intermodal Africa Exhibition and Conference, hosted here in the Gambia, the Smiling Coast of Africa. I am reliably informed that this conference is the largest international gathering of maritime transport service providers and logistics experts. This year's event, organized by the Gambia Port Authority in collaboration with Transport Events International, stands as a testament to the importance of collaboration in addressing global maritime challenges and opportunities. The Intermodal Africa Exhibition and Conference provides an invaluable platform to analyze Africa's growth potential in line with Goal 6 of Africa Agenda 2063, that is promoting trade and transport as a means of unlocking the immense opportunities for the continent in global commerce. There is no doubt that ports and logistics services are crucial drivers of international trade, accounting for over 80% of global trade movements, as we have been informed earlier. The performance of these services significantly impacts the cost efficiency of the entire value chain. However, global maritime transport continues to face unprecedented changes and challenges that demand innovation, adaptability, and efficiency from ports and logistics service providers. Key challenges include slowdowns in production capacity in major markets such as China and the US, access to capital for infrastructure development, population growth coupled with the need for environmental sustainability and climate resilience, digitalization and the increasing role of information technology in reshaping global trade dynamics. According to the UNTAC review of Maritime Transport 2023, international maritime shipments have reached more than 12 billion tons, and the projections are that world maritime trade will grow by 4.3% for the next 4 to 5 years. Out of these global trade volumes, Africa accounts for about 9% and is expected to grow in the coming years. One aspect that has affected global maritime trade is the surge in freight rates, which increased global import price levels by 11% and consumer price level by 1.5%. This has resulted in increased consumer prices for basic commodities, further aggravated by the volatility in the price of Brent crude oil per barrel, which increased by more than 45% in the last few years following the COVID-19 pandemic. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Gambia, like many developing countries, continue to rely on trade and logistics as major catalysts for social and economic development. Therefore, it is my fervent expectation that the lineup of erudite conference speakers and exhibitors at this gathering will come up with meaningful insights that will ensure that ports will continue to remain relevant within the competitive maritime, trade and logistics ecosystem. I would therefore encourage all experts here today to renew their efforts and commitment to developing pertinent resolutions that will guide progress and resilience in maritime transport, trade and logistics in Africa. I want to thank you all for your kind attention. I wish you all fruitful deliberation and meaningful networking. It is therefore my singular honor and privilege to declare the 32nd Intermodal Africa Exhibition and Conference officially open. I thank you.
We appreciate that. And by hosting this event in our little Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa, the Gambia Port Authority shows its determination and commitment towards the development of the maritime sector in the country. With that, we would like to go to the exhibition first.